Okay, we are at the end of another NAMPO and also an end of another Nation in Conversation for the year 2026 at NAMPO Bothaville. And I'm sitting here with Dr. Tobias Dooyer, who is the CEO of Grain SA, a proud partner of Nation in Conversation, and I'm going to reflect with him a little bit on the discussions that we're having here at Nation in Conversation, but then also the deeper impact of it. What follows after these type of conversations, and are there any further developments and further impact that we create through having dialogue and honest conversations? So Dr. Tobias, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Francois, like Prof. Benedel said earlier, problems only get solved through dialogue, and this is exactly what we're trying to do. And being in a little bit reflective mode as you started, it's the end of NAMPO. It's been an amazing time. It's been a crazy time. Worked ourselves to bits, but reflecting, we started, what was it, 2, 3, 4 months ago, thinking what are the key topics that we want to address? What are the real important issues to agriculture? And we create this program from it. And now you're like, okay, NAMPO is done, but no, the real work is actually starting now.
You say the work is only just starting. Is there anything that you can pinpoint from this week's conversations that is already starting to stir some action and starting to people say, hey, I've heard the conversation, or some of the panelists said, look, this is a great idea, let's action it. Is there anything you can share on that? Or
no, really in a big way. I mean, where did we start off with? On Tuesday we had this conversation, should we continue farming? So very reflective of the times that we're in. And the message that came out, and it's interesting to see the exhibitors and people's behaviors and the conversations. It's about we're in this for the long run. Yes, markets go up and down. Yes, times are tough and hopefully it'll get better. But everybody is here to commit and take it forward. And that really set the tone nearly for the bigger NAMPO to a certain degree. I think the very significant for us, obviously, with the biofuels discussion and also the foot and mouth. So if you look at the foot and mouth discussion, I mean, we stand a little bit to the side of it. We are highly committed to the process because obviously it has a big impact on our economy as well, and lots of grain farmers are also meat producers or beef farmers. So in the conversations that came out of this, we had meetings with the minister. I've been following him around and facilitating some meetings from a logistical perspective, but he had to go and see the Argentinian ambassador and one of the companies there. Walked out of the session, sat down there, had some specific key points that they wanted to achieve. The conversations amongst the minister and the industry, the participants that emanated, you said this on the stage, but let's talk about that a little bit more. That continued the day or two after. On the grain sector specifically, I think yesterday and today's sessions, yesterday on the whole biofuels thing, I think biofuels could be such a game changer. I'm not as optimistic yet. It's a political minefield, but the mere fact that the minister is committed and the minister is wanting to take this forward is giving us a hook to engage, to make submissions, to do calculations, to show them how this will affect South African consumers, how will it affect South African producers. Was it one dealer that said we haven't got we've got a profitability famine, not a nutritional famine. And that's these kind of things that need to be solved. And also today's session, currently there's a discussion right from this. Richard called into one of the panel members and said, I have to have a meeting right now. Sitting down, having the discussion as to how we're going to do this event.
I think that's wonderful. From just how you can see how a discussion like this actually rolls on, and for the coming year and years going forward, you can already see action plans forming, and certain people from different spheres of government and industry coming together and say, because I think one thing we've learned, or we've heard a lot on the panel this year, is policy decisions that needs to be made. Do you have any comments regarding that? Or is it just like Wandile said, let's just get the basics right. Let's just start by getting the basics right, and then we can flourish.
Yeah, Francois, those are the highs and the lows, eh? it's still, the potholes are still there. The tariffs are still slow. We are still blocked from using certain essential chemicals that our competitors are using. You know, one can easily fall into those debates, but it's like Mandela said, you know, at least we must get back to the basics. We can have the conversations, because if it weren't for the conversations, there would be nothing. And you know, turning those conversations into actions going forward, that's the real trick. What I love about the Nation and Conversation is really it's the hippo's ears. It's what can be public and what should be public. But coming into the conversations, you know, even the panel members are like, what should we be saying? What can we get ready? What is the thing that we should be showing? Because pitching here with nothing is not acceptable, and that's why it's also a lot of fun and importance to putting our government partners and other partners on the stages and having these discussions. Unfortunately, they've been participating, but then also, like I said, you know, it's the visible part, the invisible part that follows from this, you know, all the important discussions and like. Now we've got everybody together, they've been on a panel, they go out, they have coffee, they take things forward. That is the whole point of this.
No, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad that we can have an effect, and I think I also would like to share that Dr. Tobias Doyer from the Nation in Conversation angle, we would also like to thank Grain SA as well for the participation and also the effort you've been going through. It's great to hear that these conversations actually start making a difference and making a difference where it matters. And that's on the farm, but then also the whole value chain up until the people eating food. So thank you very much, and good luck as well with everything that you are doing, and we appreciate your participation.
Thanks, Francois. Great partnership.
Thank you.